Have you ever wondered how a single man could change the course of history in just 12 years? Welcome to our journey through time, where we unravel the enigma of Alexander the Great. Born in 356 BC, this prodigious king of the ancient Greek kingdom of Macedon ascended the throne at a tender age of 20. In a short span of 12 years, Alexander's military might lead him to conquer lands far and wide, from the Persian Empire to Egypt, even reaching parts of India. His empire thus spanned 3 continents. But he wasn't just a conqueror. Alexander was a patron of arts and sciences, and the founder of the city of Alexandria, a beacon of knowledge and culture in the ancient world. His life, though short-lived, left an indelible mark on the annals of history. Dive with us into the life of this iconic figure as we explore his rise, his conquests, and his legacy. Born into royalty in 356 BC, Alexander's destiny seemed to be written in the stars. From the moment of his birth in the royal household of King Philip II of Macedon, Alexander's life was set on a path of greatness. His lineage was impressive. On his father's side, he was a descendant of Hercules, the son of Zeus, and on his mother's side, he traced his ancestry back to Achilles, the hero of the Trojan War. Alexander's childhood was not your typical royal upbringing. It was filled with rigorous training, both physical and intellectual. The boy who would become the Great spent his formative years under the tutelage of none other than the renowned philosopher Aristotle. The great thinker instilled in Alexander a deep love for literature, philosophy, and the sciences, shaping his mind and broadening his horizons. These early influences played a significant role in molding Alexander's character and ambitions. Aristotle's teachings fostered in him an insatiable curiosity about the world and its diverse cultures, a trait that would later drive his desire for expansion and conquest. The tales of his ancestors, Hercules and Achilles, filled his head with dreams of glory and valor, stirring in him a thirst for immortal fame. Alexander's education was not merely confined to intellectual pursuits. His father, a seasoned warrior and a shrewd king, ensured his son was well-versed in the art of warfare. From a tender age, Alexander was trained in horse riding, archery, and combat, skills that would serve him well in his future campaigns. His early years were also marked by a fierce determination and an unwavering confidence. Alexander was not one to shy away from challenges. In fact, he thrived on them. It was this resilience and tenacity that fueled his quest for greatness. His early life was a rich tapestry of royal pedigree, rigorous education, and a burning desire to etch his name in the annals of history. These factors collectively shaped the young prince, preparing him for the monumental journey that lay ahead. Little did the world know a young prince was being groomed to become one of the greatest conquerors in history. At the tender age of 20, fate thrust Alexander into the limelight as the King of Macedon. The sudden death of his father, King Philip II, in a gruesome assassination plot, was a turning point in Alexander's life. But this wasn't just a personal tragedy. It was a political crisis that would test the young prince's mettle. Alexander found himself in an unenviable position. He was a young, untested king inheriting a kingdom fraught with tension and power struggles. His father's killers were still at large, and potential usurpers lurked in the shadows. But Alexander was not one to be daunted by challenges. He swiftly asserted his authority, quelling revolts and eliminating threats to his rule. His swift and decisive action sent a clear message. Alexander was a force to be reckoned with. He was not just King Philip's son, he was a king in his own right. But Alexander's ascension was not just about power and authority. It was also about vision. He dreamt of an empire that was not just Macedonian or Greek, but a fusion of cultures and peoples. He saw himself not just as a king, but as a leader who would unite disparate kingdoms and cultures under one banner. Alexander's initial challenges were formidable, but they were just stepping stones on his path to greatness. He overcame them with an impressive combination of strategic acumen, diplomatic finesse, and sheer determination. His rule was not just about maintaining the status quo. It was about forging a new path, a new destiny for his people. In his early years as king, Alexander demonstrated the qualities that would make him one of the most celebrated figures in history. His courage, his ambition, his vision, all these were evident from the very beginning. His rule was not just an extension of his father's reign, it was a new chapter, a new era in the history of Macedon. With his throne secured, Alexander was ready to embark on his epic journey of conquest. His reign had just begun, but the seeds of greatness were already sown. These early years were a prelude to the incredible saga of Alexander the Great that was yet to unfold. The world was a chessboard, and Alexander was ready to make his moves. Poised with a strategic mind and an indomitable spirit, Alexander embarked on a series of military campaigns that would etch his name in the annals of history. His first target was the Persian Empire, a formidable opponent that had been a thorn in the side of the Greek city-states for decades. With a mix of tactical genius and sheer audacity, Alexander led his forces into battle, turning the tide in favor of the Macedonians. In the Battle of Issus and later the Siege of Tyre, Alexander displayed an uncanny ability to anticipate his enemies' moves and counter them effectively. His victories were not just a testament to his military prowess, but also to his ability to inspire and lead his men. From Persia, Alexander turned his attention to Egypt, a land rich in resources and steeped in ancient culture. Here he was welcomed as a liberator, freeing the Egyptians from the yoke of Persian rule. Alexander embraced this new role, integrating Egyptian customs into his court and even founding a new city, Alexandria, which would become a beacon of learning and culture in the ancient world. But Alexander's ambition was not yet sated. He pushed eastward, crossing the Indus River and venturing into the unknown territories of India. Despite facing fierce resistance, Alexander's forces emerged victorious, further expanding the boundaries of his growing empire. Yet, Alexander's conquests were not merely about territorial expansion. He sought to create a fusion of cultures, encouraging intermarriage between his soldiers and the local populations, promoting the use of a common language, and fostering the exchange of ideas and knowledge. In just 12 years, Alexander had carved out one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. His swift and far-reaching conquests, coupled with his vision of cultural unity, earned him a place among the greatest military tacticians and visionary leaders in history. The world was indeed his chessboard, and Alexander played the game like no other. Beyond the battlefield, Alexander's influence extended to the arts and sciences. This was a man who, while known for his military prowess, also had a profound appreciation for the finer things in life. His patronage of the arts and sciences was far-reaching and helped to usher in an era of unprecedented cultural and intellectual growth. Alexander was not just a conqueror, he was a visionary. He understood that the power of a society lay not just in its military might, but in its intellectual and cultural achievements. He cultivated these aspects of his empire with the same fervor and dedication he applied to his military campaigns. One of his most enduring contributions was the founding of the city of Alexandria in Egypt. Named after himself, this city was more than just a monument to his ego. It was a beacon of learning and culture, a place where scholars and artists from across the known world flocked to share ideas and push the boundaries of human knowledge. Alexandria was home to the Great Library, one of the largest and most significant libraries of the ancient world. It was here that some of the greatest minds of the time gathered to study and learn, their work supported and encouraged by Alexander's patronage. But his influence didn't stop at the city's borders. Across his vast empire, he encouraged the exchange of ideas and the blending of cultures. Greek philosophy, art, and science spread throughout the lands he had conquered, leaving a lasting impact that would shape the course of history. In many ways, it was these contributions to the arts and sciences, this fostering of a vibrant and diverse intellectual culture, that truly set Alexander apart. He was more than a great warrior. He was a great patron of the arts, a great supporter of learning, and a great visionary. Even though his life was cut short at the age of 32, Alexander's legacy continues to reverberate through the corridors of time. His impact on the world was not fleeting but enduring, seen not only in the vast empire he built, but in the profound cultural and intellectual legacy he left behind. Alexander the Great, a king, a conqueror, a patron of the arts, but above all, a man who dared to dream big. Born in 356 BC, Alexander ascended to the throne at the tender age of 20, following his father's assassination. His unyielding spirit and strategic brilliance led him to conquer vast territories, from the Persian Empire to Egypt and parts of India, his empire spanning 3 continents. But his influence extended beyond the battlefield. A passionate advocate for the arts and sciences, Alexander founded the city of Alexandria, a beacon of learning and culture in the ancient world. Even after his untimely death at 32, his legacy continues to reverberate through the corridors of time. His life and achievements serve as a source of inspiration, reminding us of the heights that can be reached when one dares to dream. And so, the story of Alexander the Great stands as a testament to the power of ambition, resilience, and strategic genius.